the symbolism is almost too obvious. You might as well have a big sign on the guy's head, saying, sign Perry Ung now. Don't let this happen again. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of Yahoo Footballing Weekly with me, Yahoo columnist Neil Humphreys.
Me, Yahoo editor Chia, Keong. And here's Spurs fan, Daryl Spykerman.
Yeah, Singaporean Daryl Spykerman.
Singaporean.
Oh, now you're in the Singapore. You're in the Singapore mode.
He knows this.
We know
this
his
the
section
Singapore
we're in,
football.
guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, thanks to Singapore fans like Daryl, apparently, and your wonderful good selves, sending in your comments every week and making us break new records on all of our social media platforms.
Thank you very much.
We have a wonderful sponsor, StarHub.
The hub.
So what have we got this week?
Yeah, StarHub recently organized a live screening at Capital Singapore.
Yeah, and I don't like to brag, but I was working that night and I got messages saying, "Where were you? Did you get that? Where were you in
I was not in
Keong?"
Singapore, but
What?
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
was
went.
holidaying.
Yeah.
So
holidaying.
we might make an appearance.
Yeah, we
at
might.
the next one.
It was Liverpool versus Everton.
Everton. That's why I was like, damn it.
Oh, the show.
Yeah, but
And the offer
it
from
was
the hub.
pretty successful. I saw photos from it. Quite a decent crowd.
Good crowd.
Quite enjoying themselves. So obviously, StarHub is going to do another live screening, and this time it's not in the it's not in the city center. It's in somewhere in the heartland area.
Lovely.
So it's in November, this month. Next month. This month.
This month, yes.
This month. So look out for it. We'll announce more details when it comes in. All right.
Brilliant. And as always, thank you for the comments that we get every week. They really are wonderful comments. And I like the fact that the comments breed other comments.
Right.
And these whole conversations start on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Thanks to you.
Yeah, people discussing amongst themselves in threads. And
We've got our own little football ecosystem.
Yeah, that's a good thing. More discussions, and then we
Love
can
it.
maybe push our local football
Love
forward.
it. So what have we got?
Yep. So I've got a regular reader, Linkesh Kumar. Hi guys, enjoy the insightful discussion. Thank you very much. In an ideal scenario, I envision a unified program like the Golazo Studio, with the content creators you've mentioned, and perhaps some that have been missed. Such a program could provide extensive coverage of Singapore football, encompassing not only the SPL matches, but also delving into youth SPL, SWPL, Singapore Women's Premier League, and why not even our lower leagues? We need shows like that to boost the fandom. I want to make it clear that I greatly appreciate the hard work of the content creators who are currently active, but it's important to note that their coverage tends to be club specific. So like people like Eddie, is on Alliance City Sailors, and Raswinda is on Balestier. So, so to offer a more neutral perspective on SG football, we might need a broader initiative. So it's suggesting we need a bigger social media covering all aspects of Singapore football.
What do you think? Agree? Disagree?
I mean, yes, we do agree, but and we hope to see really same as you. We hope to see something down the line. I think fan based social media is always much better than anything generated by the PR machines and everything. Yeah, so these are the things that we should keep stoking the fire of people, the enthusiasm of these fans. Do follow us. Do your podcast. Put it out on YouTube. Who knows? It will generate. If you can generate some fan response from your things. It's always good for.
What do you think?
Does the SPL have this kind of show?
Well, I mean,
It's just a media
FAS will put
highlight.
out tweets and share some clips. And
Singapore Premier League
Okay.
will have their YouTube channel where you can watch it live. They got some pre-shows and post-shows.
Oh, but
But it's all PR.
Okay,
It's
okay.
all PR.
Yahoo should do it. Like we should do it.
Well, we're
And
happy
then
to
we
do it.
should have-
As Singapore Premier League, if you're listening, look,
Yeah.
I get the sentiment. I do, of course.
All encompass everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, you would
Men's,
have this
women's,
Singapore
kids.
football magazine show.
Golazo, yeah.
Exactly. But realistically, what I like about the Hougang Halls and LCS and Balestier, it's organic and it's authentic. You don't want some fake crap, to be honest. Some state-funded, government-funded, rah-rah, fake. Oh, this week on the league that you don't care about, or
But the
this week on the
government's
show
money
you
is
don't.
my money.
I know, but it will come across as what it is.
Yeah.
It will come across as national rah-rah fakeness. At least the Hougang Halls is real.
Yeah.
LCS is real. Balestier is real. It might be small, but it's real.
Yeah.
That to me is like Arsenal TV or the Anfield one and so on and so on. It's got an authenticity and therefore it has a credibility. What you don't want is, frankly, some state-sanctioned crap that no one's going to respect and no one's going to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm all for an all-encompassing Singapore football show, but it's got to be real. It's got to be organic, and I'm not sure it would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think this part, try to brag. Our podcast, somewhere near it. I think we are
we cover everything we
cover
can.
everything,
Mixed gender tournaments, domestic helper tournaments, women's football.
Yeah. If any others want to follow our footsteps,
Young Lions.
we're happy.
Yeah. And we promote everybody.
Yeah,
we promote the LCS boys. We promote Rasvinda. We promote you. We give Deepan a
Eddie,
shout.
yeah.
We give Raushan's podcast a shout.
And Eddie from LCS.
Yeah.
All doing.
Ash, of course, Footballita. We'll plug you all, as long as you plug us. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm all for the idea. On paper, of course, it's a great idea.
But it's got to be organic.
It's got to feel real.
It's got to feel.
That's all. But if you agree or disagree on that, let us know. Send all your comments to
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
Right. Tell us about the next one. I like this one.
I like this one too.
LCS. Lion City Sailors.
Fern SMP3416. Why you all got so usernames?
Don't tech on our viewers. Never mind what he says. I love your name.
Moving on.
Keep writing in. Keep writing in.
Yeah, he said, while fans might feel that filling a team with foreign players denies local players of roster spots and match playing time, that's what the previous users said about the Lion City Sailors. We should also consider that local players benefit from training with these foreign players, having to go up against them day in and day out. Lion City Sailors is already full of national players. Having to train against foreign professionals means that they can train against other good players and it helps them improve. Even helps other teams who don't have the resources to bring in imports or to play overseas regularly, because now they get to play against quality imports during the season. It's an organic, albeit slow way of raising the standards of local football. Yeah, I totally agree.
Absolutely. 100%.
I mean, you can't be parochial anymore. I mean, you don't have the luxury to be parochial. I mean, if you are, unless you are the English Premier League or the Spanish Premier League, we've got so many talents.
We're not Brazil.
Yeah,
we're not Brazil.
or the Brazil league for that matter.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Singapore is not Brazil.
Yeah, you can't say, we're not. I feel uneasy that foreign players are taking the spots that of our local players. If the local players are good enough, you shouldn't have this worry.
No.
The thing is that, in all honesty, our standards are not as good as the foreign players, and it's not say Lion City Sailors brought in poor foreign players. Maxime Lestienne, Diego Lopez, and all the new players. I think they are showing that they are a notch above a lot of local players, and good. That should be the way. The local players must feel if they are professional, they must feel the motivation to at least train on the same level, to go up to the same level as the foreign players.
Could not agree more.
Yeah.
Not only do I agree with the point that both you and the viewer made, I can prove it. I can show you that Singapore football would be nothing without foreign talent. I remember being involved with Tanjong Pagar, of course, in the late 90s. That was the peak of foreign players coming into the Singapore League, right? So Tanjong Pagar alone had Talajic in goal, had Glucevic, the striker, had Majid Motla from the Iranian World Cup star, fantastic midfielder, Jörg Steinbrunner, we've mentioned before. They made the local players better. They made Lim Tong Hai better. They made S. Subramani better. Nahar Daud better. You know, you can keep going with the list. Many of whom ended up playing for Singapore in 1998. And what did they do? They won the Tiger Cup. They won their first international tournament. Why? Because they'd been playing with a higher caliber of player every single day in training and in football matches. It's not rocket science. Once our caliber of foreign player dropped after the Asian financial crisis, our national standard of players dropped. And then once we got past, you know, the sort of Daniel Bennett, Alexander Duric era, we haven't come close to replicating that. We need good foreign players to raise the local standard. Simple.
Which is why Lion City Sailors going privatized is a boost for Singapore. It's not
Of course.
It's not like the previous our previous week. One of our users said that you're bringing so many foreign players is not good for Singapore. It's good.
We don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
Even
Have you seen
then-
our talent pool?
But even Lion City Sailors, like they gave debut to like Nathan Mao,
Yeah.
like youngsters, right?
That
the
is for
kids
the
who
national team is in the Lion
kids
City
who are good
Sailors.
enough will play. Like if
Yeah.
they're not good enough, then you have to wait or like improve.
That's the reality of football.
Yeah.
League football
Yes.
around the world. You know, you can't say, I'm guaranteed a spot because of my nationality.
Yeah.
No, it's no longer the case. It's no longer the
Absolutely.
case.
And I couldn't agree more. As always, what do you think? Send us the comments below. Now, positive story about a foreign player who may not be as foreign as he initially seems. He could be one of, well, I said us then. He could be one of them.
Yeah.
I'm PR, so I'm half. He could be one of them. Tell him the story.
So Straits Times ran a story earlier this week. Perry Ng, is from Cardiff City.
Cardiff
plays for
City.
Cardiff City now.
Which is Vincent's team, right?
Yeah,
Vincent
the
Tan.
Vincent Tan, right? Malaysian.
Vincent Tan's Malaysian teams. So he plays as right back for Cardiff. Player of the season last season for the club.
Yep.
Fans for so he has a bit of relationship with Singapore. His grandfather James is a Singaporean.
Yep.
James Ng is a Singaporean.
Late grandfather.
Yeah,
Yep.
late grandfather is Singaporean. So I think this has been we have known about these things since the middle of the year that the FAS and everybody is in talks with Perry
Okay.
because he has found out that he has an interest. He's by the way he's fully British, so he's born in Britain and this and that, but
As were his parents. I
as were his
believe.
parents.
Yeah.
And now he wants to turn Singapore citizen to play for the Singapore national football team. So he's willing to become a Singapore citizen to do that. And right now, the Singapore rule for having a passport is you either must be born in Singapore or is your father or mother, one of your parents must be born in Singapore. So he doesn't qualify for this criteria yet.
But he does for FIFA's criteria.
But he qualifies for FIFA's criteria of representing a nation in international tournaments.
like the heritage.
He just needs to have a heritage
Yeah.
line to that country.
They call it heritage athletes.
So Perry Ng, 27 years old. A lot of people are saying that his standard is the best among all the possible Singapore heritage players in the world right now. So not only just him, there's a Sunderland player, Luke O'Neill, 28 years old, who's also his father is the brother of
His grandfather.
his grandfather is the brother of Lim Kim San,
The
one
late
of-
cabinet minister.
late cabinet minister,
Mr. HDB, right?
Yeah, and Mr. SPH.
Mr. SPH, yes. Lim Kim Sun's brother's grandson
Yeah.
now plays for Sunderland.
Okay, another one, Daniel Aoyong. So the name gives you the way. 20 years old. He's the son of our former national captain Aoyong Pakwan.
And he plays in Austria.
Okay, so the thing is, for this person, for Daniel, he plays in Austria, but he's already played for the Austria under 20,
Yeah,
under
correct,
21.
correct.
So there might be some issue about that. But now this talk about heritage players.
Yeah.
Players getting the citizenship via and then representing the football team via heritage. Philippines have done this
They're leading the way.
for both the men's and the women's team. That's how the women's team
All
got-
sports, basketball,
for
they're
all
doing
the
it,
sports.
yeah.
But we're talking about football. So the women's football, they really the World Cup squad, the recent World Cup, the Philippines squad, all but one of them are from United States, but all got in via heritage things. So other countries are also doing the same thing, getting people in via this heritage route. So Singapore hasn't changed their policies to accept this kind of things.
Yeah.
And so now, so with this Straits Times report is that could this happen? Should this happen? And for me, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, we have already gotten in players who didn't have heritage. The foreign talents like Mirko Grabovac,
Yeah.
even currently Song Hui Yong,
Yep.
who's currently playing.
South
Agu
Korean.
Kashmir.
Agu Kashmir,
Precious.
Egmar Goncalves. We've done it before, foreign talents. It was a hit and miss affair. There are some good, there are some bad. But we've done it with with people who didn't have a heritage. Then what more for players who have a heritage? I mean, shouldn't they relate to Singapore even more than those foreign talents?
Couldn't agree more, my friend. I'm with you on this one 100%. When it comes to Perry Ng, Singapore football, FAS, the Singapore government, they should be signing this kid up now, today, right now, without hesitation. He's
done it last year.
27 years old. He's at the peak of his career. He is light years ahead of any other footballer
he's gone
in
through all the
Southeast
training,
Asia right now. He is fitter, he is faster, he's just perfect for Singapore right now. Now, in the past, I was very critical of the foreign talent scheme. I actually didn't support it because my argument with that was I've always believed there should be a spiritual umbilical cord between the guy in the terraces and the guy on the pitch. You should look at the guy on the pitch and go, he is one of us. With all respects to Egmar Goncalves and Agu Kashmir, you look at them as a young Singaporeans, he's not one of us. Perry Ng is one of us. He's got the DNA. He's got the DNA connection. He is a heritage athlete. He is a part, or was a part, of Singapore's heritage and culture. The man should be signed up to play for Singapore as soon as possible, and hopefully others will follow. Because as you correctly said, we're already way behind. The Philippines are taking full advantage of their broad diaspora, yes, across the world.
Across the
Filipinos
world.
everywhere.
Filipinos.
Great, right? So they're everywhere.
Popping
You know,
up.
this parent here, that parent here. Sign them up. We're already behind.
Yeah.
So we're playing catch up. Malaysians are doing it as well.
Yeah, they're doing it as well.
So, guys, I don't know how far Singapore football has to fall before we realise we're at rock bottom and we need to get up.
But guys, we are uniquely Singapore.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll make it so easy?
Yeah,
So
already.
that's the whole problem. So there's already a precedence where they did a naturalization program, and then like they just pluck out the better players from the S League at that time, right? And then just gave them like the Singapore passports, and then they could play for Singapore. Now it should be more straightforward. It's like these guys, the good players playing overseas, they have a link to Singapore. Let's just make them Singaporeans, provided they give up like their other citizenship.
They have to anyway, by law, in
that's
Singapore.
Right. And then just get them on. Like I don't know if there will be some Singaporeans who will feel like, about the NS.
I mean,
like, they'll bring up the NS question.
That will
right?
never go away.
That will never go
well,
away. So like, do we want them?
Alexander Duric didn't do
Do we
NS.
want them? Do we want them to serve NS at 28, 29? Or like I have a package idea for them. They could like when they retire, they could do 10 weeks of BMT and then they could still do like 5 or 10 cycles. Like I'll be okay with that.
But
would,
on that
would
point,
everyone accept that? Would they accept that?
I'm sure they will. If you just look at the Facebook feeds, I'm sure they will. But you guys both know, you know the sport well enough. Han Keong and I have covered the sport for 50 years between us. There is no national service like a guy representing his country, preferably to medal glory. He will galvanise an entire nation in a way that Joseph Schooling did, in a way that Shanti Pereira did, in a way that no politician, no businessman, no leader of any kind can do except in sport. And until we realise that, until we accept that national service can be achieved in different ways, we're never going to get our heads out of the sand. Sign this guy up and he will do his national service for Singapore tenfold.
Yeah, and obviously he sees like this is probably his dream to represent a country in international things.
He wants to. He said it.
He already wants to. Obviously, as a British, maybe it's tough, to be among the top British team to play for England.
Of course.
But here's a way out. Here's a way for him to do that, fulfill his dream, and he's willing to do it. I don't see why there should be any delay. I mean, I saw the response from FAS General Secretary Yazin on the ST report saying that he must prove that he can serve the country. He can prove that he can contribute a positive contribution to the society, Singapore society. We will look at it, and we still got to unleash the Raw project.
Let him lead it. Let him be a spokesperson. Let him be a figurehead. Let him be an ambassador. Let him run all your coaching academies when he retires.
Unleash the Raw ambassador. Somebody who's followed his dreams from young to become a professional footballer. What more can
This
he
guy's
do?
not a con man. He comes back to Singapore every 5 minutes. He's got aunts and uncles here.
Right.
He hangs out at hawker centres. He's like this guy's fallen from the stars, as far as I'm concerned. It's like manna from heaven. We should be bowing down in gratitude that we have this guy. And the fact that we're even debating this is baffling to me.
Yeah.
He's got a Singaporean grandfather. He's a heritage athlete. His family's DNA roots are in Singapore.
Yep.
I don't get it. But as always,
Yeah,
let us
he's
know
got a
what you think.
surname Ng. It's how Singaporean can
Yeah.
you be? Yeah.
If you see this photo, it looks like it's from like some boy
Yeah,
band.
very Ng,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, he's
very
good looking as well, so we can make some money off the guy, right?
Yeah,
So,
give Ilhan a run for his money.
as always, what do you guys
Yeah,
think? Because it's not
really
just
need
him.
your opinions,
It's not
man.
just him. There's three good guys here. We've got Kim Sun's brother's grandson, for heaven's sake. Got three possible guys. Let us know what you think. All right, let's wrap this up. Talk a little bit about Singapore's upcoming World Cup qualifiers.
Yep.
One thing I did want to say that you pointed out, speaking specifically about foreign talent,
Yeah.
this one could be embarrassing.
Correct.
Because Thailand's going to play Singapore, right?
Yes.
In the World Cup qualifiers.
And-
And our current, I still believe, Singapore citizen.
Oh no,
Unless
I
he's
don't think.
renounced it.
Yeah,
Well, he hasn't renounced it
No, I think
officially.
it's renounced already.
Well, he hasn't come back.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ben
Yeah.
Davies could play against Singapore.
Yeah. I don't know whether he could come to if he has been selected. He might not be able to come to
Oh, he
Singapore.
can't. He can't.
He
Yeah, he'll be
he come in, he'll
arrested.
be arrested straight away.
Yeah.
But in Bangkok, there's every chance of him playing against Singapore. So that would be a great talking point, isn't it? The last time he played, he actually played for Thailand against Singapore in the SEA Games. I think that's a couple of SEA Games ago, and he scored a penalty.
And he's
I
playing
think
in Thailand now, club side.
Yeah, I think either that or I think it's English lower leagues like.
Yeah, but he went on loan. I don't know if he's still
okay.
he went on
Yeah,
loan
yeah,
to
correct.
Thailand.
Oxford, no.
Oxford, right? If I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
wrong. So that's a great talking point.
But it'll be very interesting because if he does play well or if he does score against Singapore, I mean, dear me,
Yeah.
the symbolism is almost too obvious. You might as well have a big sign on the guy's head, saying, sign Perry Ng now. Don't let this happen again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one.
So the other converse thing is Song Hui-yong, who became our Singapore citizen a couple of years ago. Now he's going to go to his home or origin of birth, South Korea, to play against the South Koreans. I think that's their first match in November. So I don't know. That could be another great story of how the South Korean fans view this.
Yeah.
Hey, Singaporean? Are you really sure you're Singaporean?
What do you guys think? I mean, my gut feel is I think South Koreans will be okay with
Yeah,
it
I think-
because they're a big country.
Yeah,
They've got a
and they
big
have
talent base. They're
Yeah.
not. It's an insecurity thing. They've
Yeah.
got no reason to feel
No,
insecure.
exactly. They won't feel insecure. They got Song Hyun
They'll be like, good for
Min.
you.
Yeah.
And it'll be, a good example would be Perry.
Yeah.
If Perry played for Singapore against England,
England
I
will feel-
guarantee
England will-
99% of England will be good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
You're not quite good enough for England, but you play for Singapore. It happens all the time. Jamaican players, I think Antonio at West
Yeah,
Ham,
Mikel
he
Antonio.
recently just come back from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
but
all the
he's
declared for
African,
Jamaica.
African countries.
he's English born and bred. I mean, so no, I think the South Koreans will be fine with it.
We'll be fine with him.
They'll be
Yeah.
good. But okay, what do you want to wrap up with? Do you want to talk Singapore, China?
I think Singapore, China. You think there'll be a
Or
big
the
crowd?
Founders.
More China fans than Singapore fans at National Stadium.
No.
I think there's a chance.
I hope it. I hope.
I think there's a chance.
But it's not until next year, the game, right?
Huh?
It's in 2024,
Yeah,
right?
next year. Yeah.
I hope that when China plays Singapore, this is really like devil's advocate. I hope there are more China fans there because it will kick up such a massive social media embarrassing storm.
Definitely.
But sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
We need a bit of a kick up the
Yeah,
backside.
last time I think when I don't know which team, I think either Myanmar
Myanmar brought a big crowd.
and brought
Yeah.
big crowd.
Philippines has had a big crowd before.
Yeah, Philippines also.
Thailand
Yeah.
has had a big
Thailand
crowd.
is natural. They always have a big crowd. But
But I mean, like
Myanmar
local
and
ties,
Philippines. Yeah,
Singapore-based
but now it's
ties.
China. It's like got lots of China.
What about
residents here.
South Korea? Like the girls could come thinking it's some boy band
Song Hyun-min will attract all the-
concert. Yeah, we need to segregate like all these groups.
Okay,
Go on.
one last thing.
Yes.
Do you think that this World Cup qualifiers will be like a make or break for the coach Takayuki Nishigaya? What do you think?
I think it's harsh. Like
I mean,
we got
really,
South Korea and
he's been
China,
here-
and then
he's been
Thailand
here
we
about
could get
more than a
close.
year
More than
already.
a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you give him like 2 years.
At-
Oh, like look at
the
the
very
talent
least,
pool. We don't
I
have
feel-
Perry. We don't have like
Okay,
all the other
true,
guys.
fair enough, fair enough. But I also feel that we shouldn't lose heavily.
Yeah,
I think
okay,
I think
okay.
he has been given enough time to drill his team, to instill his whatever philosophy he has in the team. The team should be playing for him, and should not lose like in like 5-0 or 7-0.
True. Okay.
And if that happens, I think I don't know. It means that his methods are not
Not
working.
getting
I think you're right,
Yeah.
Ang Keong. I agree with you 100%. I think the World Cup qualifiers are the last chance for Nishigaya because The most recent game that had significance was Tajikistan, and they were completely outplayed. There was no pattern to the 2-0 defeat, no attacking impetus at all. I know they've played Guam more recently, but my word. And even that was a struggle, home and away.
The live feed
Guam was a struggle,
was
home
so
and away.
bad.
So I know what will happen. The obvious retort will be, well, we're expected to lose to these teams. So if you go with that defeatist attitude, then seriously, what is the point?
Yeah.
We might as well not even play the games.
Yeah.
Just give it a bye and give it to them. So if we're going to lay down and say, oh no, write these ones off because we're expected to lose. So even if we get whacked 5, 6, 7 kosong, it doesn't matter.
that cannot
No,
be.
there
That
has
cannot
to
be.
be some progress. I'm with you. The guy's been there more than a year. They don't have to necessarily win, but there has to be a more of an attacking impetus, an improvement,
at
a
least
tactical
show that,
discipline.
Exactly. At least show that there's some idea, there's some cohesion. You know that you don't fall apart within the first goal after the first goal being considered. You know that should be the very basic of what you should see in a national team.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think? Is this the last chance for the Lions coach at the upcoming World Cup qualifiers? What will be success for the Lions? And most importantly, we really want your comments about Perry. Should we make this brilliant young championship player a Singaporean citizen and let him play for the Lions? Send all your comments too.
Do you know he was
go on,
he
you
was in the
cut
team of
me
the
off
week?
there.
Sorry,
Go on.
he was in the team of the week in the championship team of the week this week.
Okay, I'll say that part again. Do you think that the player who's currently in the championship team of the week should be playing for the Singapore Lions? Send all your comments too.
Yahoo Southeast Asia on YouTube, Yahoo SG, Yahoo_MY on Twitter, Yahoo SEA on TikTok.
See, I don't interrupt you, do I? I don't stop you.
Suddenly
When you're in full flow, I don't stop you. But as always, we do thank each and every one of you. Keep your comments coming. It's thanks to you that our friends at StarHub are organising a wonderful event.
Yep. So they've done live screening at Capital Singapore. They're gonna do another live screening this month. This time it's going to be a heartland area. So they're still ironing out the details. But once they got the thing finalized, watch this space for more updates.
Daryl, thanks as always for coming on, my friend.
It's been good, guys. All the best to Singapore. I think we can pull it off. We can get an upset win against.
This is the best football fan we have here.
Singapore Bolo. Thanks as
let's do
always
it,
for
let's do it.
watching you guys. I'm off now to see if I've got a Singaporean late grandfather somewhere to qualify as a heritage athlete. See you next week. Take care.